All right, 2-minute warning. This one is going to take definitely more than 2 minutes because some of these topics I want to go in depth on, starting with Jamal Adams being traded. So Jamal Adams has been dealt from the Jets to the Seattle Seahawks. The Jets get a 2021 and 2022 first-round pick, a 2021 third-round pick, and Bradley McDougall. And then Seattle obviously gets Jamal Adams and a 2022 fourth-round pick. If you ask me, the Jets won the trade. Jamal Adams is a great player, but there's no way in hell he's worth two first-rounders and a third. I mean, that's absurd. That's what you pay for a quarterback. And, Seattle usually trades their first-round picks. We see that. But 2 first-rounders for Jamal Adams, I think that's a steep price to pay. I don't know if Jamal Adams is going to live up to that type of compensation. We remember what the Bears gave up for Khalil Mack, and they gave up 2 first-rounders. And has he delivered, is he worth 2 first-round picks? They're still trying to answer that question. It's not a definitive yes. Not yet. They still got to play it out to see who won that deal. Originally you would think that the Bears won the deal because that first year with the Bears, Khalil Mack went off. But, second year wasn't as great as his first year. And, if he continues that downward spiral, the Raiders would have won that deal. And maybe they did. So the Jets, right now, I said the Jets get the deal because any safety is not worth any. Name any safety in NFL, I'm not giving up 2 first-rounders and a third. No, sir. Not at all. Impossible. I mean, that's just crazy. So, Seattle, more power to him. Hopefully, Jamal Adams, the ball's out there. He's, he already stated, there was a tweet earlier, as soon as he got traded, that he was kind of complaining, saying Seattle got him on a 7 a.m. flight. But, I mean, dude, come on, man. You got traded. You got what you wanted. Now it's time for you to produce. Put up these numbers. If he thinks he's that great, I want to see him do that in Seattle. And again, I'm a big fan of Jamal Adams. It's just recently he's been all about himself, man. And he's good enough to make those type of claims. But some players in that locker room, if you missing plays and doing all this, you calling yourself the press. They're gonna be looking over like, man, we gave up 2 first rounders for this guy. He's taking up a lot of salary cap. Like he's the highest paid guy in our defense. For 2 first round, this guy. So he has a lot to prove. This is it. Seattle's trying to make a push. Now let's hope that they're able to turn Jamal Adams into the player that he should be as far as a game changing safety, because he made plays with the Jets, but he wasn't taking that defense to the next level. So we'll see. Hopefully, there's a win-win for both sides, but I don't know. Washington football team. So the Washington football team is the new temporary name. This will be the name that they will be playing with in the 2020 season. They will remove their previous logo from the helmet, and they will go straight Alabama style with the number on the side of the helmet, which is kind of cool. I mean, you see Alabama do it, and I know they're pretty big. Like a lot of fans and players were pretty happy about the new uniform design. So I'm curious to see how that goes. Hopefully, Washington football team is not the permanent name. I think that Washington is they're putting this on for this year to see how it works. Maybe they're selling merchandise that says Washington football team. Hopefully they don't go straight soccer on us and stick with Washington football team, because that would be terrible for the NFL. It would be embarrassing for that football team to just be named football team. Like there's nothing behind it. So let's see what goes down with them. But their uniform design was solid. I mean, it looks very similar. It's just a slight alteration, slight changes. Speaking of Washington football team, Alex Smith has been cleared to practice, and this guy hasn't played since November 2018. He's coming back from 17 surgeries. I mean, his injury was life-threatening. So he almost lost his life over his injuries sustained in 2018. So this is a big deal for Alex Smith. He is 36. He's coming back for the Washington football team. Ron Rivera has already stated that Alex Smith, he will give him an opportunity to win the job. So Alex Smith will be competing with Dwayne Haskins. Alex Smith is actually the highest paid player on the Washington football team right now, I believe, as far as his cap hit. So he will get a chance, according to Ron Rivera, to win the starting job. But he has not played since November 2018. So how rusty is he? How, where is he going to be football wise? Where is he going to be athletically? It's a good story for Alex Smith, former number 1 pick for the San Francisco 49ers, drafted in front of Aaron Rodgers. Alex Smith has had a interesting career as a number 1 overall pick, who many labeled as a bust, including me. And then, Jim Harbaugh comes into the San Francisco 49ers, resurrects his career. He goes to Kansas City with Andy Reid, has a solid career, and then gets replaced by Patrick Mahomes, gets shipped to the Washington football team, and, gets injured. So Alex Smith, you could do nothing but root for this guy. Obviously, if he's going against the Eagles, I hope he gets pummeled. Not injured, pummeled. But, I'm curious to see how he does in training camp and see what he could do if there's a season for the NFL. Knicks hire Tom Thibodeau. I'm sorry, Knicks fans. I mean, this is embarrassing for the Knicks, but this is not anything that we are surprised about. We know that the Knicks, they're not even mediocre. They're just terrible, right? They're a terrible franchise, making terrible decisions. And Tom Thibodeau, while I'm not gonna disrespect him and say he's a trash coach, he's a terrible coach. The dude's mediocre. Like he knows his basketball. He I think he's a solid coach, but he's not a coach for New York. Like New York wants somebody that's going to come in and make some changes, develop the players. Tom Thibodeau is not that guy. Like he's not going to be a guy that's going to energize the Knicks fans. Say, okay, this guy is going to be the guy. Like they could have brought in Mark Jackson. Like that would have been a perfect fit for the Knicks. Tom Thibodeau, 5-year deal, coached with the Bulls and the Timberwolves, and we've seen what he's done with those teams. With the Bulls, he had Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler, Joakim Noah. He made some runs, but that was the time where he was running into LeBron with the Heat. Derrick Rose gets hurt, and then it's a wrap over there. Then he goes to the Timberwolves with, Wiggins and Cat and all those guys, and they can't do a damn thing over there either. So Thibodeau, again, solid coach, but he is not the guy for New York. He's not the right guy for this job. I think he should be coaching in the NBA, but I don't think it should be with the Knicks. If I was a Knicks fan, I'd be pissed. Or if I'm a Knicks fan, I'd be, I would already have changed teams. I would have disowned the team. I would have I would have stood in front of Madison Square Garden saying fire James Dolan. So, my heart's out there for you Knicks fans. This is, they could have did worse with the hire, but this one is like, yeah, that's the type of hire this is. So, we'll see what the Knicks do with this next 5 years with Tom Thibodeau. And then lastly, Joey Bosa signs a new contract extension. We just talked about Myles Garrett last week. Myles Garrett signed the largest defensive end. He set the market with defensive end guaranteed money. Now it's been set literally a week after by Joey Bosa and the Los Angeles Chargers. So it's a 5-year extension worth $135 million. And according to ESPN, Bosa's deal includes $78 million fully guaranteed at signing and $102 million guaranteed, sources say, for the most for a defensive player in NFL history. So this is more than Aaron Donald. This is more than Myles Garrett. And for those of you that remember, Myles Garrett, I think, had $100 million guaranteed. Joey Bosa beat that by $2 extra million. So, man, these guys are getting paid out here. And to be honest, Joey Bosa does deserve to be paid more than Myles Garrett. He's done more in his career. He's been in the NFL longer, but I think as far as defensive end-wise, I think Joey Bosa is just a better defensive end than Myles Garrett. Right now, I'm not saying forever, but right now, if you gave me an option to take one of the two, I'm taking Joey Bosa. So, big ups to Joey Bosa, getting that paper, man. Everybody's getting paper. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for more fire sports takes. And for those of you who are on the go, make sure you subscribe to our full show, which airs every Thursday on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and a bunch more. Until then, I'm chucking it up, and I'll see you guys next time.